afternoon, whatever it is that you're listening. Thank you for listening. Curt is on vacation, and we're rinky-dink. Like, I'm playing our opening music from my cell phone. Pat is filling in.
Hey there.
Pat, hot firefighter boyfriend Pat. We're
It's
in
weird
his
to hear the music
motorhome,
from this side, you know?
right? Yeah. So we have a lot of stuff to cover today. I'm excited. So Curt's in Florida with his family. He's like, I don't want to do the podcast. I don't want to have to worry about any of the stuff. So now we're doing it the best we can. He'd be so disappointed in me because Curt runs all the technical stuff. So I literally have the music he emailed me for the show on here. You're not going to get the little fun, fancy in between the little bits that we do.
I have no buttons to push.
No.
Well,
we have
maybe yours. I can push your buttons. But...
Okay, so Curt's in Florida. We are in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. We left for our road trip yesterday, right?
Yeah.
And tell us where there was terrible traffic, so it took us way too long to get to our final destination.
Quite a while to get through Eastern Washington.
And let's see. So we stopped. Where are all the places we stopped? We stopped in Cle Elum. It's our typical place.
Pioneer Coffee.
If we're going down I-90 through Cle Elum, our tradition is we stop at our favorite coffee place in the whole wide world, Pioneer Coffee.
Where Jen and I went for our second date.
Yes.
That's where we found it.
That is where we found it. So that's delicious if you've never been. And then when we were there, Pat, this is right up your alley. You were in the bathroom and you came out and you said, well, I've done my good deed for the day.
Yeah, that.
I'm like, what? You're like, I cleaned their bathroom. What?
Well, less their whole bathroom, more just their toilet. Because somebody, they made a mess. And I thought if you guys walked in there, you were Macy,
some mud and
you guys
cleaned
would
it
throw up. It was bad.
I wouldn't even use a bathroom like that. Like if I walk into a bathroom stall that is gross, I just walk right back out.
I just wonder. I mean, they painted the back of it, so I just wonder.
The back of the toilet.
Back of the toilet, yeah. And you know they had the brush there. It was easy. I mean, I used a paper towel and held the brush and.
This is why I love you, honey.
But, yeah.
The many reasons. That's one of them. You
bad.
You just make it happen. Okay, so we stopped in Cle Elum for the coffee. Then we stopped. Where do you call that place where we went to the lookout and you could see the Columbia River?
It was like Wild Horse Lookout or something.
Right.
They had the sculptures of the horses on the
hillside. That
was
super fun. There was actually a sign that said, "Be aware of rattlesnakes."
Yeah.
Okay.
Didn't see any.
No. And then we stopped in Spokane.
Yes.
That was our next stop, right?
That was our next stop.
And then we went on the gondola ride. I've never done that.
I didn't even know that whole area existed. Never even knew it.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. What do they call it? It was a river.
It's the riverfront walk. It's the riverfront walk. So many things like we saw. There's a giant, enormous red wagon that you climb up the back of it, and then the handle of the wagon is a slide.
Yeah.
Which we both went down.
Which there's no proof you did because you deleted your picture.
That's because, okay, I'm going to go here. I deleted the picture because it was disgusting of me. I look like a Dairy Queen ice cream cone, like my boobs and then my stomach and blah, blah, blah.
Oh.
So delete. That's gone. But this was a really cool area because there was like the garbage goat, the red wagon, there was an outdoor concert venue, there was the fountain.
Well, it's a whole area for the 1974 Expo, we still haven't figured out whether it's a World Fair or whether it was a Expo.
Or if an Expo is a World Fair.
Yeah.
We don't know.
They kept saying Expo.
Yeah.
And then we'd see Fair once in a while, but never did I see World Fair.
Okay, and then we had dinner. Then we drove to Coeur d'Alene. We went to the Coeur d'Alene Resort to have dinner at Dockside because it came highly recommended only because of the desserts.
Yes.
So we had a
great
dinner.
And they were impressive.
The gooey sundaes.
Gooey sundaes were impressive.
Oh my gosh, it was so good. So that was awesome. And then we got back in the motorhome and we drove to the Coeur d'Alene casino.
The casino.
We're literally parked in a casino parking lot because you know this from being an RVer for all your life. You can camp at most casinos, like some casinos, all casinos. What?
Most. There's some that don't allow you to stay.
Free.
Yeah. Yeah, they have hookups. Not like sewer and water, but they have power you could hook up to.
And that costs.
But we didn't bother doing that. We're self-sufficient, so we can.
He's trying to save me some US dollars.
That's right.
We may as well. And then we didn't roll in until really late. We didn't go to bed till 1. So this is why you get this.
1 o'clock.
This is
Here
why
we
you're
are.
getting this.
Yep.
This whole thing. Okay, let's just dig into it. The big news, I'm bringing this up. It's a news story, but because we live in Seattle, it's Starbucks. Starbucks is replacing its CEO and names Chipotle chief head of the company. So the CEO of Starbucks, who's been there for just a little over a year, Lexum Narasimhan, I think.
Yeah, Narasimhan.
He's out, and they hired Brian Niccol, the chairman and CEO of Chipotle.
Well, Chipotle, I don't know how long Brian Niccol was around for Chipotle,
He's been in there, I think I read, since 2018.
So he handled the big Chipotle mess where they had contamination and stuff, and then came out of it. I
think that one did.
That would have hit within that, I thought.
But I mean,
maybe
Chipotle
not.
is a monster now. He's really turned it into something.
Oh yeah,
pretty significant.
Chipotle's always been pretty good. But...
Yeah. So September 9th, he's taken over. So there you have it. I mean, I think that's good to know since it's a giant here in Seattle. TV workplaces that you would actually like to work. So TV shows that have workplaces where you're like, yeah, I'd like to work there.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about that?
Never.
Okay, I have. And being in radio, I always thought it would be fun to go back in the day and work at WKRP in Cincinnati.
Well, yeah. I would just well, go ahead, start reading.
No, you can. So Raker.com asked its followers, where are places you'd like to work that are on TV? And these are the most popular answers. The most popular answer. You go ahead.
The Pawnee, what is it? Pawnee Parks and Recreation Department?
From Parks and Recreation?
So I never watched the show.
But I've heard it's excellent.
Yeah. Yeah. And then Cheers. So Cheers I used to watch, and I don't know about working there, but I wouldn't mind drinking there.
Some of these we hadn't heard of. Kim's Convenience from the show of the same name.
No.
Party Down from the same name. I've never heard of Party Down. The 99th Precinct.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine, which I've never seen, but I mean, there's so many shows like that, right?
Yeah.
So
that Broken at that police department. TGS from 30 Rock. Bob's Burgers from Bob's
Burgers. I haven't really watched any of the episodes, but
you've eaten at Bob's Burgers.
I have eaten at Bob's Burgers, but not that Bob's Burgers.
Well, right.
That's a different one.
Right.
So.
Oh, is that different than the Bob's Burgers that we have around here? I actually don't know.
Isn't Bob's? Yeah, I don't know.
Dunder Mifflin from The Office. Here's something fun about Jen. I've never seen a full episode of The Office, ever.
I'm maybe one full episode, but I've seen a lot of clips.
I mean, but I think it'd be fun to work with those people.
Yeah.
Central Perk from Friends. I would totally love to work there.
Oh, yeah.
I think being a barista would be fun.
Well, I'm not, yeah.
WKRP, WNYX from News Radio. Ally McBeal's law firm, Cajun Fish. Abbott Elementary, and then...
And True Blood.
Oh, yeah, from True Blood, the Bar and Grill.
Bar and Grill from True Blood.
Merlot's Bar and Grill? Anyway.
Yeah, I don't know that.
We don't. And then, of course, The Simpsons rounds out the whole thing with the Springfield nuclear power plant.
Why wouldn't you want to work at a nuclear power plant? I mean...
Only to work with Bart Simpson, that's why.
That's a little scary.
Oh my gosh. Do you like pumpkin spice?
No, not at all. I never have.
I haven't either. I don't love it at all.
It's too much. I don't even like the beer, like the Oktoberfest beer that has like the pumpkin flavor.
Yeah, I know. We're quickly approaching, I'm glad you mentioned the beer, because we're quickly approaching the time of year where everything has their version of pumpkin spice.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Usually Starbucks kicks it off. It will be out on September 22nd, but it's not the most popular fall flavor, which is kind of surprising.
Good. It's run its course, and
I mean, people are still going to have their pumpkin
it'll
spice.
still be around forever, right?
Obviously.
But I mean, there are people who I used to hear guys at work, hey, they got pumpkin spice. We got to run down and grab a latte or whatever. It's like, no, thanks.
Me too. I'm with you.
Nope.
This is why we're together.
yeah, because of pumpkin spice. That's it.
The number one flavor for fall is cinnamon, which makes sense to me. Cinnamon's a little more universal, I feel like.
Yeah.
It's a little more
I
accessible.
mean, I don't care for a lot of those flavors anyway, so.
So there's cinnamon followed by salted caramel, which I know you don't love.
Way too sweet for me.
Candy apple, then pumpkin spice, and some other fall favorites include, as far as flavors, maple. S'more was on the list, and to me, s'more is summertime.
Yeah, well, yeah, because you think campfire.
I don't think s'more is fall.
Now that next one's up, the pecan.
Pecan?
That's up my alley.
You like your nuts, honey.
I don't know if that's a good. Yeah.
Toasted marshmallow, again, that's kind of like s'more to me. Sweet potato and cranberry. So there you have it.
Sweet potato?
This story is all you, because you have 2 boys that are left-handers.
Oh, Left-handers Day. Yeah, I do.
So it happens to be National
I think I
Left-handers
have
Day.
a third that I have 2 boys that are lefties and a third that is sort of ambidextrous. I mean, he eats.
Way.
Yeah, he would eat.
Michael, you're talking about Michael?
He would eat with his left hand. But he batted right, he threw right-handed, he writes right-handed, but he would eat with his left hand. I don't get it.
Okay, I only put this story in because I had no idea what a struggle being a left-hander in the world really is. Because everything's designed for the majority, because only 1 in 10 people happen to be left-handers, supposedly. You have that's quite a phenomenon that you have like 2.5.
Oh, yeah.
3 sons, you have 2.5.
Well,
left-handers.
Maria was a lefty, and
Your ex-wife.
my ex-wife.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. So the obvious is scissors and can openers.
And you've tried to use scissors with left hand. It just does not work.
It doesn't
real
work.
Well.
It doesn't work. So,
I've never tried the can opener left-handed, but I could see why it wouldn't work because.
So tell us the other things that are hard, because I didn't know about these things.
Zippers on your jeans. So the flap that covers the zipper, it's always on the left-hand side. So you'd almost have to use your right hand for that. Credit card machine, swiper's always on the right. Measuring cups. Now, this one here, measure cups, if you hold it in your left hand.
We're talking about the kind of measuring cup, though, not the like individual measuring cups, but the kind that has like the liquid
ounces
kind.
On one side, ounces and cups on one side, milliliters on the other. But I honestly have never really paid attention because I always pour with my right hand, so I hold it with my left.
Me too. That's how I do it.
So I don't know if that screws me up. I'd have to look at one. I should have looked at one.
Yeah, do they do it opposite?
Yeah, does it actually work for them? Because they're pouring with their left hand. What is it? Car fob.
Oh yeah, car fobs. Car fobs.
Yeah.
Which are key fobs, right?
Yeah,
because the
kind that opens like a knife. You click on the button. Button's always set up for the righties. Lefties have to open them upside down.
I didn't think about this one.
Didn't think of that.
Microwaves? Because you push the button with, what is it? You push the button to open it with your left hand, and the door will hit your arm.
Yeah, because you're reaching across.
Oh, that's true. Because yeah. All right.
Rulers, tape measures. I never thought about that, but yeah, I could see where.
If you're bringing out a tape measure, you're looking at it upside down. If you're taking it out to the left.
Yeah, it depends on tape measure, I guess. Not really looking at it upside down, but you're looking at the other side that might be like different type of.
This one was right up your alley. You're like, yeah, I can see what.
Oh, power tools, definitely. Problem. Yeah, circular saw, forget it. If you're lefty, I mean, I've cut with my left hand before because of where I was at, and yeah, you're not looking where the saw blade is. It's hard to see. Yeah.
I mean, a few of the other ones are like novelty cups, but that's like no big deal. It's just because you can't. Usually they're printed, so if you're right-handed, you can see the thing. If it's not printed on both sides and only on one. But
so then you're advertising.
Whatever.
And then playing cards. I never thought about playing cards. A lot of them have numbers in 2 of the 4 corners, so you can't see them well. If
they're in your left
maybe
hand,
it's how you fold.
Though?
Maybe it's how you fold them and you overlap them. But honestly, I've never paid much attention.
And then the last one is serrated knives. A lot of lefties don't know that the teeth are set up to offset the tendency to twist clockwise with your right hand. I don't get that.
Well, I don't know about serrated knives, but I do know that I have a cheap. Well, I don't know if they're even a cheap set of like butter knives, and they're tapered too much. So like as you're even going to cut butter, it goes and it makes you like you can't cut a straight line. It just nice little ski slope. So.
All right. Yesterday, Curt and I talked about the worst proposal ever. You listened to the show yesterday. You listen to the show all the time. So here's the deal. A guy staged his own abduction on the side of a road. So he's with his soon-to-be, hopefully, fiance, right? And he set it up so that he had some buddies that were like had masks on the whole thing and came out of this like cargo truck and smashed their car windows in. So of course I would be freaking out if this happened, like fearing for my life, freaking out. And then they took him and put him in the back of the truck. And so she's like sobbing.
Yeah.
And then he comes out of the back of the truck with a bouquet of flowers and proposes.
That sounds very romantic. I mean,
it doesn't, honey. If you ever decide, don't do that.
Note to self.
So Curt and I asked about, do you have a proposal story that was a bad one? And we put it on Facebook, and Halsey came through for us with her story. We happen to know Halsey and Tanner.
Yes, we do.
Her husband Tanner. So you know that it ended well because they're married now. But their story, I'm just going to summarize it because it's a little long, but they had bought a house together right before they were getting married, or before he had proposed. They were closing on a house. And so before they went to actually sign the papers on that day, Tanner took Halsey to the house. Like, he had it all set up. He had Halsey's stepmom in there in the house waiting, her niece, and they had flowers waiting, the whole thing. And their dog, Tyr, was there.
Oh.
So they're waiting in the house, and Halsey realizes that she forgot the keys to the house at the restaurant they had just been to. And so she is insisting, and we know Halsey can be stubborn.
No, not at all.
No, she can. I've seen it.
Yeah.
And so she's insisting, we got to go back. I'm not leaving my keys there. And he's like, I have a way to get in the house. We can get in the house. And she's like, I'm not leaving my keys. We need to go back now. So in the car they went, and he's like, this is for one time. If you just like, this is one time I really need you to listen to like me. Like, can we just, nope. So they turned around, went back to the restaurant. All the while, the dogs, they're trying to keep the dog quiet because the people in the house have no idea what's going on.
It was a total surprise and everybody else was part of it too. So
anyway, they
waiting.
Yep, they come back, they make the proposal. She says yes, but then that's a whole thing. She says it's a great way to summarize their whole relationship. That's an awesome story. I mean, it ends well, right? It's not like the abduction though, so at least that has. I mean, the other one has a good ending too, but the amount of emotion that I would have running through my body if that happened, the abduction thing.
Yeah, that does not sound like.
You can still weigh in on that if you have a proposal that went poorly or just a crazy proposal story. It's on our Facebook page, Curt and Jen in the Morning. All right.
Yeah, well,
actors
who are nightmares to work with, according to on-set workers.
So these are people that actually worked on set with actors, and this was on Reddit. And I have worked with a lot of celebrities, musicians mostly, right?
Yeah,
we've run across some that have not been so pleasant. Like Avril Lavigne, when she was first starting out, not great. But at that point, she was a teenager. I have a teenager. I know now they can become great people. So hopefully she has, but she was not great to work with. But this list, Pat, really disappointed me because I think that when you see these people that you really like, that are celebrities, that you're really fond of, like they're good actors, they seem like they're funny and good people, and then you read that they're not, topping the list, Blake Lively. I just saw her in her new movie.
See, and I don't know a lot of these people because I don't pay attention to
names.
Some of them I do. I mean,
so it says Blake Lively is the most entitled, snobbiest, and rudest person to deal with. She threw tantrums all the time.
And then Dr. Phil, he has a no eye contact rule, which it says one of the nastiest and most self-absorbed people, which, you watch him, anybody who sits there and tells you like he does.
Yeah.
I mean, those type of people, I don't know.
I could buy off on that one, but some of these other ones I was really disappointed.
Scarlett Johansson.
I know, very high maintenance, demanding things left and right.
Ben Stiller.
And John Cusack.
Oh, very entitled.
He was my movie boyfriend back when I was younger.
Oh, well.
Very entitled, exactly what you'd expect from them. I would not expect that from them.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah.
Russell Crowe, I get.
Super arrogant and self-important.
He
Okay.
seems like that type. I mean, just to me from the,
I don't know who's Chris Pine.
Chris Pine is one of the superheroes. Macy, who's Chris Pine?
She can't hear you.
She can't hear me.
She can't hear you.
Oh my God, this is terrible. Well, Chris Pine is on the list, and I don't like that. The quote was, he's a massive D-bag.
Yep.
Someone else on that list, they said he's a D-bag. Who was it? Oh, Steven Seagal.
Steven Seagal. Which, yeah.
I had to look up Michael Cera. I didn't know who that was, but he's Evan in Superbad. He's also in Juno and Arrested Development.
Yep, don't know.
He's not nice.
Tyra Banks. Yeah, legitimately will fire some people if they look her in the eye when passing. What? In the hallway?
If you pass Tyra Banks in the hallway and you look at her, she might fire you.
Wow.
James Corden. He won't talk to anyone except the most senior crew. He thinks that he's above everyone.
Wow. I mean, that's a shame, but it kind of, to me, it kind of goes with the business, I think.
No!
They
No! There is no excuse. I don't care.
You're right, but I mean, it's like, it just seems like a lot of even, personalities and people who are a little uppity up, they, they got a little.
I did read an article about Taylor Swift. You know I like Taylor Swift. And she is a good person through and through. That she, like, if any of her, like, crew people get sick on the tour, she'll send them groceries. Like, if she knows that one of their family members is sick, she'll send them home to be with them.
Oh, that's nice.
I mean, she's just, way to go, Taylor. That's how it should be. All right. What do you think about this?
We looked at a few. If they don't say I love you in the first 3 months, dump them.
Okay, this is according to supposedly a relationship expert. So that's the first.
I want to know the credentials there
of a relationship expert. And is this even good advice? Because I'm like, what? I don't know about this. So there's a guy named Jake Maddock. He bills himself as the dating guru on Instagram and owns a relationship coaching business in Australia. This guy's come up in my feed before, but I have never seen this one.
Yeah, so he's going viral with some advice that
this advice
that if they don't say it and say I love you in 3 months, the first 3 months, dump them. And
how do you feel about that?
I mean, I really think it depends on the person and stuff and
where you're at.
Where you're at, yeah. I mean, there's so many different things that can go. It's so subjective. So yeah, I don't know.
He claims in the first I love you usually happens around the 2-month mark when people are a good fit for each other. So if it doesn't happen by 3 months, stop wasting your time. It's hopeless and they're not your ideal partner.
I think I just want to say for the record, I think I made it in the 3 months. I'm pretty sure.
Remember. I have a voicemail of you kind of slipping up saying, okay, I love you.
Yeah,
like,
it was.
Oh, wait. What?
Yeah. One of those Freudian
but
slips.
Mine slipped out too. Like we were,
and here we are.
Here we are. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, he's facing major flack online for this because a lot of people think 3 months is too soon to say it. And even if it wasn't, it shouldn't disqualify you from the relationship.
No, I think there's... Yeah.
Don't just go and dump someone just because they haven't said I love you in the first 3 months. Maybe they were waiting for you to say it first.
That's true. Then maybe they weren't sure how you would take it if they said it, if they'd run because they're like, too soon. So yeah.
Okay, okay. I want to share this. I was in the car last night on our road trip, and I ran across this. I'm like, I have to read this to you, Pat.
Do I need to listen to this again? Because it did bring a tear to my eye.
It is. And this is a tough one. So
yeah.
Go ahead. You can.
No, go ahead.
So here's this thing. It's this beautiful poem I ran across from someone that was grieving. And they said, they were talking about in this post that, I hope I don't cry when I read this too, that, all the words that people give you, that's probably for them, right? To feel better about that they're hopefully offering you something. But those words don't do anything when you're really grieving. Like it happens and all the cliche, like it happens for a reason. Everything will work out, blah, blah, blah. He's like, when crap happens and it's crappy, period. And nothing anyone can say will get you through it. And he said, but then I read these words when I was in the grieving process. And he's like, these are the words you need to know. So if you're grieving right now, hear these words. And I will always remember this poem. It's by Donna Ashworth. I looked her up online. Okay, love came first. You don't move on after a loss, but you must move with. You must shake hands with grief, welcome her in, for she lives with you now. So basically she's saying grief never goes away.
Yep, it's always there.
Pull her a chair at the table and offer her comfort. She is not the monster you first thought her to be. She is love, and she will walk with you now, stay with you now, peacefully, if you let her. And on days when your anger is high, remember why she came. Remember who she represents. This is the sad part to me. Like, remember, grief came to you, my friend, because love came first.
Definitely. Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to share that with you because it got me and it got Pat, and I'm like, you just like, this is good to remember, like, grief is with you, but it's only because you love someone so deeply and it hurts so badly. So anyway, there you go. There's that.
So that's that up and down thing we're at the down here now, but it's a good thing. I mean, you know.
Yes. Okay. The tease for tomorrow.
Yeah. On another note, moving on.
This is what you call a real smooth segue. Don't send risque text to your girlfriend when she's with your mom. Or with her mom. With her mom.
Definitely not with your mom. That would be a bad thing too.
There was a guy who sent this gal a risque picture, a photo, and she was in the car with her mom, and you know how you get the notifications? Well, that picture popped up because her texts were open. Oh. And so her mom saw body parts that she probably can't never unsee now. And so I was just wondering, what's your most embarrassing text blunder? Like, what's something that happened to you with texting that you're like, oh, I want to take that back?
I don't have
You have none?
No. I'm always pretty careful. I mean, short of having, autocorrect, which, that gets everybody. So people just ignore that for the most part. But.
Anyway, so we want to know that. We'll post that I'll probably post that on my personal one. So Jen, my maiden name, Kincaid Pirac, on Facebook. So if you don't already follow me personally, follow me. I'll try to get it on Curt and Jen in the morning as well. But we want to hear your text blunders. In the meantime, we're glad you joined us. How do you feel? How do you feel about this?
Well, we'll see what the reviews are. So.
I think you did a great job. Will you be back tomorrow is the question.
Yeah, once again, let's see what the reviews are. Maybe you guys let us know, should I be back or not? I don't know.
You should be back. Oh, I forgot a correction from yesterday. Yes. I meant to say this at the beginning of the podcast. Yesterday, I talked about something I did over the weekend. I called it the Cheese House. It's called the Cheese Room. Not the Cheese House, the Cheese Room in Seattle. You tasted my leftovers.
Yeah, they were really good. Even leftovers were delicious.
So, Cheese Room, Seattle, Capitol Hill area. If you need a place to try, that's a good one. All right, have an awesome day.
Take care.
Make good choices, find joy, and spread kindness.